Chapter 27 of The Wrong 10 Seconds is our penultimate chapter, where we'll let Phoebe close off her part of the story. Here's Phoebe, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, chapter 27. 1 week till school. Phoebe might survive re-entry like a rocket coming back to Earth. Inspector Riddle came round one evening with a wide-eyed lady PCSO who apparently worked with the school to stop bullying. They promised that a support worker would check in with Phoebe straight away at school and gave her a phone number to call if she needed extra help. The whole time they talked, it felt unreal. Why bother with this now? Phoebe chewed her hoodie strings to swallow her giggles. Mum kneed her under the table, looking half guilty and half annoyed at the visitor's concerned suggestions. Dad's stomach gurgled as he got a curry for lunch. Owen stood against the worktop, mouth half open. At least Kaylee was out. That cut down on the drama. We share your concerns about Phoebe, but she's also very talented and has been an asset to more than one investigation, Riddle concluded. We all look forward to seeing what she chooses to do as she gets older. Mum recovered her voice, and Phoebe shuddered, her own stomach churning nervously. Not being funny, though, she's not older yet, and you're basically telling us she should spend time with people older than her. How's that going to look to the other kids at school? No one's saying she should do anything, the PCSO insisted. We're just outlining options in case they help Phoebe feel more comfortable. Riddle stood to leave. And you know, it's not bad if Phoebe stands out from her peers. They'll appreciate her authenticity more as they mature. Still can't get my head round you hanging out with random adults I don't even know, Mum grumbled as soon as the police left. The police know they're okay. And Lydia's family aren't random. They understand me. You can come meet them sometime, maybe. Mum pulled out her phone. Oh, goody. Meet more people like you. They're not like me. They're just nice to me. Apparently that was a thing. You could be nice to people who were different. Who knew? A butterfly of laughter escaped from the whirlwind in Phoebe's belly. Never mind, love, Dad consoled Mum, trying to reach the fridge door handle from his chair. Sounds as if this Shauna girl was bad news anyway. Our Phoebe'll be all right without her. Owen suddenly straightened, and his mouth worked into action. You're seriously missing the plot. That girl was worse than bad news. She's a bloody terror. And Phoebe was going back there every day because she doesn't like being alone in the house. Are you thick or really... I'll have none of that from you, Dad shouted. Hand me a lager, boy. Don't stand around lecturing. You're not our coach. Phoebe watched, gulped down a frightened squeak. The danger passed. Owen's colouring slowly faded from bright red, and he got a bottle from the fridge for Dad. Then he looked at Phoebe. If you need me to be in the house with you, I'll do my best. All right, sis? Just say. Maybe it was the persistent rain, or maybe Owen had nothing better to do. But when Phoebe asked him to stay with her the next day, since Lydia was working, he did. She kept to her room, mostly drawing, working on pictures of Harriet. His sounds anchored the house around her. Strong pounding footsteps, tuneless humming, his electric toothbrush and shaver, the soothing undertone of a sportscast on the telly. They stopped Phoebe from being sucked into the terrifying vortex of unmanned noise. Phoebe moved to the lounge and sketched in front of the telly with him. Owen nodded at her sketchbook. She's pretty. She can't walk or talk, but I think she's still in love. He tossed quavers into his mouth. I'd kill myself if I couldn't move. You wouldn't be able to if you couldn't move. Phoebe studied her pencil tip. It was going dull. But in a way she can talk because Charlie knows what she thinks. If Mum or Dad got ill, do you reckon they'd understand each other? I expect so. I don't think I'll ever find someone like that, but I don't want to. I'll keep my weird thoughts to myself. Owen turned to her, smiling. You have weird thoughts you don't say? Some. She juggled the pencil and her sharpener from one hand to the other, then passed it to him. Can you? I don't like how it sounds or feels, like I'm hurting the pencil. She put her hands over her ears while he sharpened the point. Makes them better, though, don't it? He handed her pencil back. Like working out. Hurts, but makes you better at it. Around the time Phoebe had managed to create a nearly acceptable sketch, someone knocked on the door. Owen swung himself up to get it, and she heard him say, Bloody hell, you've got nerve. I've heard what you'd done to my sister. Phoebe crept to the kitchen. Sure enough, Shiana was in the doorway, scrabbling at her damp hair, trying to make herself more presentable, her eyes wide and alarmed. Phoebe's my friend, though. Is she here? I'm here. Phoebe stood next to her brother and folded her arms. The broken roof guttering dripped onto Shiana. What do you want? Oh, hi. Can me and Nikki come in? Shiana tugged on a lead, and Nikki appeared, confused and droopy. She'd been sniffing the wheelie bin. Phoebe made a face. I've gone off dogs, funny enough, and you. I guess you can both come in, because I feel sorry for you. Owen looked at her. I'll be around if you need anything. He snapped his fingers at Shiana. You, make sure your dog doesn't mess anything up, and don't you go shitting on anything either. How about I just leave her here? Shiana tied Nikki round the table leg and gave her a biscuit. The dog sniffed excitedly at the sticky floor, shook raindrops everywhere, then sniffed some more. Phoebe led Shiana to her room and let her gape at the drawings and watercolours. She'd unbricked the wall, letting the pictures beneath all the red pages breathe. I didn't know you were so good. No, you didn't care. Phoebe sat on her bed, arms still folded. What are you doing here anyway? Seriously, these are so... I don't know, they make me feel like I'm there. Shiana fingered Phoebe's watercolour of the Weatherspoons, then turned to a charcoal series representing different features of the abandoned church. I got bored at home. She squeezed onto the other end of the bed, twiddling her hair. Where's Megan? Are your parents still mad at each other and stuff? Megan's dad grounded her for bullying. She can't even go on her phone. Shiana pouted and reached for her phone in her pocket to protect herself from a similar nightmarish fate. And I think my parents are trying to not be horrible to each other. I just don't know how they can. Phoebe curled up against the wall and took up her pencil and sketchbook. Your dad's nice. Just be nice back. It's not complicated. What he did isn't nice. My mum's dad cheated on her mother, and they've never spoken to him for like 30 years or something. What would you seriously do if Noah asked you out and some guy from another school did too? Don't pretend you wouldn't. Shiana looked wounded. But I don't think I would, 'cause I know what it's like. I wouldn't hurt someone like that. You hurt people in a lot of other ways. That's really unfair, Phoebe. You never said I hurt you, or I would have stopped. Phoebe put her pencil down, her face burning as red as her hair. You must be totally thick. What if I pulled your hair and wouldn't let go, and I was laughing and laughing, and you might say, stop, but I couldn't hear you? How would I ever know it hurt? Because everyone knows that fucking hurts. I never did anything like that. How come you never posted your own videos about wanting to blow Noah or eating dog poo? Because you knew you wouldn't like it. Why should I? Shiana whimpered. She sounded like her dog. You're weird, though. I figured you'd like weird things. Fine, I'm weird. I see things other people don't notice. That's how I make these. Phoebe motioned at her pictures. If you had any sense, you'd want to see more too, like this. She found the picture on her phone of Charlie and Harriet spinning in the rain. The photo blurred Charlie's face, his glasses shining, but captured the perfect porcelain shape of Harriet's, her dark wavy hair flying. Who's that? My new friend's parents. Isn't her mum lovely? My mum's pretty, don't you think so? Phoebe shrugged. I used to. But really she's scary. Same with you. Anything pretty about you is a lie. That's what I'm scared of. Shiana's voice cracked. I mean, if my mum can't keep a man, I don't know how I will. And her and me, we do see things other people don't. And we use it to help people be, more popular and stuff. You're not trying to make people better. You're trying to make them the same as you. Eyeliner dripped down Shiana's face. My dad says we need to be kinder in our family, but maybe I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to go work with a bunch of spazzers at the college, or visit his horrible dad in the nursing home. You're not really nice. What do you ever do for anybody? I kept to myself most of the time. That didn't hurt anyone. Phoebe waved her sketchbook. Now I'm going to put more art in the world, make the truth easier for people to see. True things can't always be nice, but it might at least be fair. Phoebe opened her phone's browser and passed it to Shiana. Sign in on your Facebook here. What? Shiana looked terrified as she obeyed. I'll help you do something kind. Trust me, your dad will love it. Phoebe leaned over. You're logged in? Okay, give it back. Working under Shiana's profile, the little red number at the top of the page showed her Shiana had 7 new notifications, probably nothing like the kind of notifications popping up on Phoebe's Facebook before she got rid of it. Phoebe added the photo of Charlie and Harriet. She captioned the photo, "This is the man who set Nicky loose at Fairford. He actually takes care of his wife all the time, and he's never mean to anybody. Please share this so people know they shouldn't be mean to him." Shiona peered at the photo as it loaded. "That's him? I barely even remember. I was so upset." "And you wanted lots of attention." Rolling her eyes, Phoebe returned to her drawing. Harriet's jawline was tricky, softened but not fat, nothing like the Queen's chinny portraits on more recent coins. "I don't know if people are going to like this," Shiona pouted. "Then make them like it. If you're so clever at teaching people, make them learn this. It's not okay to hate someone they don't even know." Shiona checked her phone. "Noah's asking how come the man stole the dog then. What do I say?" She sounded panicked. "Tell him no one's perfect. Obviously. Use your head." "Why did he do it though, Ginge? I don't get why he thought my dog needed help. I've never done anything to Nicky." At the sound of the old nickname, Phoebe looked up and smiled. "No, he knew I needed help. He just got us confused." The next day, while Lydia did another 12-hour shift and Owen cleaned up the rugby club from a party, Phoebe found her way along the ring road to Charlie's house. Thanks to the cool mist, she walked unnoticed in the mid-morning and reached the bungalow at lunchtime. "Hello, Phoebe," Charlie exclaimed as he opened the door. When he said her name, he treated the last syllable delicately, making her feel like a bird or butterfly. It was the same tone he used on his daughter's name. "Can I sit here and draw?" He scratched his head. Do you think it's okay with your parents? I don't want anyone to think you're unsafe here or..." There was music playing, but it wasn't loud, and the voices sang as if welded together. "Why would I be unsafe?" Phoebe twirled the carrier bag in her hand. It was in the wet weather. It had stained her fingers bruised blue. "And I brought you something. It's for your wife, too." "That's sweet of you." He moved aside and took out a little bottle of sanitizer to rub on his hands. He was a lot like Phoebe. His phobia of germs like her phobia of noise, his need to cook like her need to draw. "You know," he said as he followed her into the lounge, "Harriet and I are happy to have you visit. But I'm sure you're aware there are some older people who it wouldn't be a good idea to meet up with. We're not like that at all. But since you don't know us well..." "I know you." Phoebe set her bag on the floor. "Anyone who meets you can tell it what you're like. You shouldn't worry about it." She saw them gazing back in surprise, and her own words echoed too loud in her head. "Sorry, I'm so confident these days, it's ridiculous. It's like I'm high or something." Any second she might crash back down. The other Phoebe would run in and snatch it away from her, replacing the good feeling with one of the old, more painful highs. She thought Harriet laughed, but she couldn't tell. Charlie blinked. "Yes, I remember that feeling." "Behave, Harriet. I don't mean actually being high. I mean how confidence feeds off itself, doesn't it? Like anxiety, but a spiral moving the other way. Once you let one in, it will come in until you're filled up." "Maybe. You're probably right." Phoebe reached into her bag. She'd wrapped the watercolor portrait in layers of plastic sacks, protecting it from the rain. Her hands shook as she untangled it. "Here." She showed Harriet first. "I made this. I tried to show how pretty you are, but I hope you like it." Harriet's brow furrowed with the effort to crane a neck she could hardly move. Phoebe tilted the picture for her, first one way and then another, and Harriet stared, sadness in her eyes so deep it was like peering through layers of ocean to a sunken treasure ship. Charlie moved around the chair to look. "How beautiful! Do you see it, my love? It's you." Harriet hummed very quietly. "Not as you were, as you are. You're still this gorgeous." Charlie took the picture and held it to the light. Suffering adds new depth to beauty. Phoebe understands this. It sounded good. But beauty, suffering, kindness, they all joined the list of things too big to pin down. Pain made people do awful things to each other, but made some people more kind and beautiful. Maybe it depended on whether they were around the ones they loved or not, whether art was their refuge or not. Phoebe settled on the couch and took out her phone and sketchbook. She'd taken pictures while walking here, puddles standing patiently over slowly sealing cracks in the over-dried earth, raindrops adding tears to the face of a model in a bus stop makeup advert, and a glistening black constellation of elderberries. "Are you cooking again?" He had a big pot of something spicy on the stove. It's chutney today, with courgettes and a few tomatoes from my garden. Tomatoes were the only part she'd heard of. Smells warm and a bit orange. He laughed. Yes? It could be the spices. I put ginger in, it's my favourite. What do you think? There was some in the dessert you tried the first day you came here. Oh, I liked that. Maybe she should look up ginger and draw it now. She should put the picture on her door. It was like part of her name anyway, barely bothering her anymore. Her phone pinged a text from Shiana. That status you posted for me has loads of likes and shares, some angry faces, but the citizen wants to interview me again about that guy. What should I wear? Phoebe texted back, he has a name, you know, might want to learn it for your interview. No answer from Shiana on that. Worry curled Phoebe's toes up from the soft carpet. She couldn't expect to be friends with Shiana, though. She didn't even want to be. Did Shiana expect it? Phoebe sighed and messaged again. Good luck. TY. Shiana wrote back. That would do. Phoebe relaxed back into her seat. Are you all right? Asked Charlie, stirring his saucepan. Harriet looked her way too. Mostly all right. That sort of didn't make sense, but they might get it. I was thinking earlier, you know when you taste that dog away? Yes. His eyes flashed behind his glasses, and he grabbed his hand sanitizer as if he could scrub the memory off. It's funny, but everything else that happened, what you did helped me escape. Because I'm here now, aren't I? She hugged her sketchbook. Things aren't all right, but there's some right, and that's not so bad, is it? Ah, admitted Harriet. No, not bad at all. Charlie lowered the bottle back into his pocket without using it. His music kicked up drums to match the rain and the light rattle of the saucepan lid. Phoebe took deep breaths in time with it, feeling the soft worn leather of the sofa and Harriet's concerned gaze. Her phone stayed silent. She picked up her pencil again and began the delicate network of tiny stems connecting one shiny elderberry to the next. That's the end of chapter 27.